So the show I'm reviewing today is Cross, that was on Amazon Prime, and I actually watched it fairly early when it just first came out. And not gonna lie, the main reason I watched it was because of this guy right here. I don't know what he acts in, but I just saw his face and I was like, yeah.
Yup.
So the show is basically about Cross. So he is a detective in DC and he basically solves crimes, but I think at this moment in time he may be on suspension for something he did. So he works on various cases and you kind of see what he's also gone through in his personal life. Like, for example, the passing of his wife and how the murderer was never kind of discovered, but also the murderer kind of is starting to mess with his family. But the story kind of starts a bit more with a Black Lives activist being killed, and the way he was killed was very odd. The police want to quickly cover up saying it was related to drugs or stuff, but it's a lot of things to do with the way the person was killed isn't adding up, and also the way they lived their lives. For example, they were a Muslim, they had locks, but when they were found dead, they had their hair shaven and they had pork in their system. So it's this is something that this person who was murdered wouldn't do. Why would they shave their hair? Why would they have eaten pork? But so there's more to the story than meets the eye. So they start investigating what really happened, how is this connected, and they start to realize that this isn't just an isolated incident. There are multiple murders connected, and they start to find that the serial killer is starting to find people to replicate murders that have already happened. So they want to find people who kind of resemble criminals and then kill them the way the criminals were killed. So for one of the recent ones, it was one of the storylines we end up following is this lady and how she gets catfished by this guy. That whole meeting, I was just I really hope that girl ran away, because it made me realize if someone catfishes you, run away. Don't give them a chance, because she gave him a chance and he ruined her life. Oh gosh, I'm remembering it now. It was actually scary. I had me on the edge of my seat watching it, and towards the end you start to realize that some stuff are not all the serial killer. There's another whole storyline at bay with someone who ends up befriending the family. That that storyline is intense. So if you have not yet watched Cross, I would suggest to go and watch it. Don't continue this video because I want to talk a bit more about what happened towards the end, but I definitely suggest to watch Cross. It's on Amazon Prime and it is a very good thriller. Will have you on the edge of your seat, high blood pressure potentially. But now I'm going to talk about what happened towards the end. So the ending really spun me. The lady who had befriended his child and who was helping with the piano, all along she was the one who really hated, was really after his guts. Her found family, these two people, one of them went to jail basically because of this older woman, because she was oh, if you can just take the fall for him, we'll get you out. But she was having a really hard time in prison, and I do believe that it affected her to the point of passing. So then the older lady who saw her as her mother was she wanted to basically ruin Cross's life by making him choose to pick which kid you want to die. That was crazy, because it's nobody is necessarily, it's not Cross's fault that he gave his opinion at the time. Yes, it would have been harsh. It was a harsh opinion, but it was the lady's fault for telling her found daughter, the daughter she basically brought into her family, to take the fall. However, the lady just couldn't accept that. She was no, Cross is the cause for their whole family basically being ruined. And the end of that episode was so intense. I was people are gonna die. like people are going to just, not be here. And the way the lady decided to take matters into her own hand, that was shocking, because she really said, I'm not going down, and went. But yeah, I think this show was a really good show overall, and I definitely recommend it to as many people. Like, it was a good show. I would recommend the show. Very thriller based and not too crazy.